this is a good exercise to do for anyone. So it doesn't matter if you have a business, if you don't have a business. A lot of the times not a lot of all the time we say that we don't have time. We don't have time, and then I hear this, like, people always tell me, oh my god, where do you find time to do everything? So I wanted to share this activity with you, and I would suggest to do this at least on a monthly basis. So depending like how fast you want to grow personally in your personal life, in your business. So this is a great exercise to do. You can even do it on a weekly basis, but definitely I would suggest on a monthly basis. I do it myself. We do it in the company too. I even have my team do it. So then this way we can see where the time goes and then how to expand and open up more time. So the idea is it's not about managing time, because the most common way you're hearing, okay, if I don't have time, you have to manage your time. The idea is not to manage your time. The idea is to control your time. Time is the most valuable asset. And I was just doing Instagram and Facebook Live, and I was talking about the wealth. So everyone thinking that wealth, it's all about money. But in reality, wealth is not about money. Wealth, it's about time. And we can make money, but unfortunately we all have 24 hours in a day, and no matter how wealthy you are, you cannot buy that extra 1 hour. But what you can do is that you can control your time, you can leverage your time, and this is how wealthy people create wealth. This is how they achieve everything that they have in their life. It's by leveraging their time. So I'm actually going to share this with you, how you can do exactly the same thing yourself. This is super easy. But here's the thing, you need to be honest with yourself when you're doing this exercise, like really, really honest. And once you're going to be honest, once you're going to start putting down all of this, then you're going to see like, okay, like what do you actually spend your time on? So on the left side, you see the tasks. So this is what you do. You write down all the tasks. So I would actually suggest for you to, like, literally just from the moment that you wake up, like, write down all the things that you do. So let's say if you wake up, the first thing that you do is you check your social media. Okay, right, social media. If you do, I mean, like I do my yoga. If you check your emails, you can write down that you check your emails. If you make yourself a breakfast, okay, breakfast, if you're making, okay, depending, cooking or eating. So then you just gonna write all of this stuff down. Let's say if you have your business and then you are doing activities in the business. So let's say, like in your case, Laura, we're going to be talking about, so let's say like you're teaching a class, say you're doing sales calls, or you're doing sales demos. Let's say you doing, okay, financials of the business. You got the idea, right? So you just literally like write down all the things that you do on day-to-day basis. And in fact, I would probably even suggest maybe not just even on one day, because like majority of the stuff, I'm pretty sure you do day to day the same things. Some of the things you do different on the other day. So I would suggest to literally write down all the things that you do, let's say like throughout the whole week. Okay. So the next column on the right, the F is stand for the frequency. So that's why I would suggest to do it like a write out for the whole week, maybe even for the month, because certain things you will gonna be doing on a daily basis, certain things you do on a weekly basis, some things you do just once a month. Okay, so let's say, like, for example, maybe driving to Costco, maybe you do this once a month. Okay, so you will put that you do this monthly. But let's say checking up on social media, you check up every morning, so daily. Like for myself, I do yoga daily. Checking up emails, obviously you will do this daily as well. So cooking breakfast, so this activity would be daily. So you're going to write down all the stuff, like how frequently you do them. The next step is the T, is the time. How much time you spend on this, and be honest with yourself. So whether it's, let's say, checking up your social media 2 hours a day, 1 hour in the morning, one in the evening, or maybe you even do it 3 hours because you do it in the evening, in the afternoon, and then in the morning as well. So like the yoga, I do 1 hour. So you just write down for yourself, like throughout the day, how much time you spend on this, and then you calculate towards the next column is the totals per month, how much time you spend per month on all this activity. So let's say we're saying that you spend 3 hours a day on social media, checking up on all the social media, just scrolling, and then we have 30 days, right? So that's going to be 90 hours that you spend on this on a monthly basis. So you got the idea, right? So let's say if I do yoga, I spend 30 hours a day. Let's say if you're checking up your emails, maybe like 30 minutes a day. It depends like what you do. So, okay, so that's 15 hours a month. Okay, so then the next column on the right is the R. As you see, all the abbreviations are right here on the right side. You can see like the step 1, F for frequency, monthly, weekly, daily, T for the time spent in minutes. So you have all this activity on the right side, the explanation of that. So the art stance is the how revenue generating activity is. So let's say checking up on social media, is this revenue generating activity? If you're just checking up on the social media, what your friend did, someone else did throughout the day, over the weekend, is this revenue generating activity? Probably not. So you're going to write no. Let's say if you are in the because you like, for me myself right now, I'm doing this masterclass, so I'm literally like on social media every moment that I have, because I'm checking up who registered, who didn't, and then I need to respond to all these comments. I need to invite them to the masterclass. So okay, so like for me it would be revenue generating activity, unless I'm just checking out what the my friends did or the other people did. But other than that, that would be revenue generating activity. So I'm going to write yes. Yoga, I mean, yeah, no, it's not a revenue generating activity. But then on the other hand, again, it's part of my self-care. Emails, okay, is this revenue generating activity? Again, it depends. If you're following up with the client that you're trying to sign up, it might be yes. If you're just checking up the emails, then it would not be revenue generating activity. Is how often, let's say if you're doing like a breakfast cooking, it's interesting, and there's a reason why I wrote down all of this. I remember I was having one of the strategy sessions with one of my clients, and then she goes to me, yeah, but I want my kids to eat healthy, so I have to cook for them. And she has her own business and she wants to grow a business, but then yet she has to cook the breakfast, she needs to cook the lunch, she needs to cook the dinner for them. And then if you calculate all the time when you spend cooking and then the eating and then cleaning up, and then the same activity for the lunch, cooking, cleaning up and eating, and then for the breakfast, and if you see all this time, and then the next thing she goes to me, but I want my kids to be healthy because I want them to eat homemade food. So, and I'm not opposed to any of this, because in fact I was actually exactly the same way. I remember I would wake up at 5 o'clock, do all my morning routine, and then the next thing, okay, I would cook the lunch, the dinner, and the breakfast, and then cleaning up and all of that. And then when I realized, what am I spending my time on? So I'm not opposed to healthy eating, but just by analyzing what you spend your time, and then how you can gain control of the time. So like, let's say, for example, so now if you're spending, let's say 1 hour a day, that's 30 hours a week. And that's definitely not a revenue generating activity. So the next step is that moving to the next column, where you see 1, 2, 3, 4, is to identify how this task is important. One is the lowest level of the importance. Second is the highest value. The third one is to delegate this to someone. And the fourth is it's actually very high value and you need to focus more on that. So let's say, like, for example, if I am checking up on my social media and it takes me 3 hours a day, probably it's not a good idea, even though it's a revenue generating, but I probably do need to delegate. Luckily, I do have Lena, and then we expanded our team. We have more people that working with us right now. And by the way, that's exactly what I did when I was doing this exercise. I remember me and Marina, I was brainstorming. I was telling her how crazy I go with all this social media 1 year ago. And then me and Marina were thinking, okay, when I did the schedule, we went over it. And then I remember Marina mentioned, if we find and hire someone, even if they take 1-2 hours a day from your schedule, and it's all going to open up, what is going to be available to you, what opportunities available to you. So this is why I would invite you, when you do these exercises, be honest with yourself. yourself. And then, okay, what opportunities are available? There's so many opportunities, but we don't see them because we spend our day-to-day time on all these activities that we're doing that are not revenue generating. They're not even for your soul, for your life, for your personal life. They even like not doing any good for you. So like, for example, I'm talking about the checking up on social media. Okay, so then you probably can hire an assistant who will do the post, will check up on you. And I'm not saying that I'm not doing that, but if I used to spend 6 hours a day, I'll reduce it to 3 or maybe to even 1 hour a day. And then the other time I'm going to focus on more valuable things. So then here you would say, okay, you can delegate this activity, then you're going to put a 3. I mean, yoga, I cannot definitely delegate this to anyone. This is very valuable activity for me. Why? Because it's for my body, it's for my mind, for my focus. So obviously I'm going to keep continue doing more of that because it's very important for me. If you're checking your email, so maybe that's activity to delegate. It's to hire an admin, to hire a virtual assistant or someone who can help you out with that and take a look at the emails to answer them. So you can delegate that unless it's a revenue generating. So that's how you would identify. Okay, so this is to delegate. And then cooking breakfast. So let's say again, if you are all into the health, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be not eating healthy, but okay, the next thing is to see for you, okay, how I can actually turn this around into still having this healthy breakfast, or do I cook myself, or maybe I'll have someone else who will cook for me, or maybe even like come up with some creative ideas, or where it's going to be like a very fast, where you don't have to like cook the whole sit down breakfast. So or maybe like I said, just delegate this to someone who will be able to take this off your plate. So watching TV, that's another thing. For those of you that do watch TV, it doesn't matter, TV, Netflix, whatever it is, okay, so be honest with yourself. Let's say if you do this daily, let's say you spend 2 hours, that's 60 hours a week. And now imagine what you can do during these 60 hours a month that you can spend on more valuable activities. We only have one TV in my house. I never actually watched TV. My husband does. And when he watches, he wears this headset. First of all, I do not even want to hear any news or any TV. Like I used to. I remember I used to when my kids were small. So we had TVs everywhere, and there was one in the kitchen. And then in the morning, the first thing what I would do, you just put on TV on, and then it just plays in the background the noise. Now imagine that this is how you start your morning, by listening this TV and all this noise of all the stuff that's going on in the world. And then once I get out of the house, that's it. I'm already all stressed out. I'm already nervous. I'm already all like negative about like all the things that's going on in the world. And I realized, okay, but I cannot control any of that. Why am I even listening and watching all this stuff? Like I'm very, very protective of my mind. And I love how, I think it was Jim Rohn, he was saying, stay guard of your mind. So I love that saying, because like we have to be very protective. What noise we allow to come into our mind? There's like so much noise out there. So is this revenue generating activity? No. Do you delegate or you just stop doing? So probably would just stop doing that if it's not revenue generating activity, unless you're watching like what I love to do. I watch YouTube documentary or biography of successful people, because that is revenue producing. And then just see how you can stop doing this, how you can maybe change the bad habit into the good habit. So let's say if you, instead of watching TV, now you can turn this around and you can watch 1 hour a day. And imagine if you're gonna spend 1 hour a day of watching documentary or biography of successful people, how your life and your business will change. And that is definitely going to be a revenue generating activity, because you're gonna learn what successful people did. Yeah, we do learn from our own mistakes, but it's better to learn from others. And the thing is that the wheel was already invented. We don't need to reinvent anything. So by watching and learning what they did you can start learning and implementing in your business. And then the next thing is you go to the next column. Okay, if you're going to be delegating, so as we mentioned, like 3, checking up on social media, then delegate. So now you're thinking, okay, who can you delegate this to? Do you already have someone in your business or in your life that you can delegate this to, or you need to hire this person? So like I was sharing with you when we were doing with the marketing, so I didn't have this person. So this is how we hired Lina. So the next thing is to think about, okay, if you don't have this person, who can help me? You see, this is, by the way, another I like to share with you. This is a great question to keep asking yourself every time, because a lot of the time if there's something needs to be done, we come up with all the things or how to do it. It's not always about how, it's about who. So just switching the way that we talk, it's who can help me with this? Who can I delegate this to? Who can I sign this to? Who do I need to become to do this? Because a lot of the times we come up with all these excuses, or I don't know how to do this, or I don't have anyone to help me with this. I'm not rich, I'm not wealthy, I don't know how to sell, I wasn't born this and that. So the question is always to ask is the who. Who is the magic word that needs to be in your vocabulary? And anytime, whenever like I come up with any kind of idea, the next thing what I do is, okay, who do I know? Who do I need to talk to? Who do I need to ask? Who can help me? Who do I need to become? So try to use this. This is, if you're going to start switching just to this word who, I promise you that your life is never going to be the same. Okay, so think, okay, who can you delegate? And again, if you don't have that person in your business yet or in your life, so then you start thinking, and this is, by the way, what happened with Lina. True story. I think a year before I hired her, I went to Joe Dispenza seminar, and so Lina, she lives in Denver. I actually know her from the day that she was born, because I was friends with her mom. And then they moved from New York, they moved to Delaware. But I still like kept in touch with them. And when I was in Delaware, and typically whenever I travel, so it doesn't matter where I am, typically whenever I travel, I reach out to people that I know in this specific location. By the way, Laura, even with you, when last year I went to Tashkent, Uzbekistan, it happened to be that you were there too, so I reached out to you. So I always do that. Whenever I travel somewhere, I reach out to people that I know in my power base. So surely that's exactly what I did. I reached out to Lina's mom, Faina. I was like, okay, no, I am here. Let's maybe meet up for dinner together. So they actually came, and then she brought Lina, and then we had a beautiful dinner. And I remember she was sharing that she graduated in the marketing. And I was looking for that person. We gave, obviously, we did the ads with the hiring and everything, but then I was also expanding my network. And then I remember her, you remember the question is who? So, and I was like, okay, you know what? I remember this girl. She mentioned that she's in marketing. Why don't I reach out to her? So, and this is how, guys, you do it. And the same thing, if you already have people in your business, and this is what we do too. So every time when we do this exercise, I actually make my employees, and Marina asks them and delegates to them to do the same thing for the employees. So this way we can see, okay, whatever it is that they're already doing, what we can switch to someone else in the organization. So then this way I can delegate more to them and create more time for myself. So as you see, it's not about managing your time. It's about controlling your time and leveraging. And the more people you're going to have, this is how you leverage your time, by leveraging people. So the more people you have, you delegating to them. And then this is how you start doing more things in the business. So, and also, let's say if we're talking about, let's say, Laura, you are teaching, right? So if you're teaching, so the next thing, okay, you see, okay, like how many hours do you spend? If it's like, let's say, one-on-one, or if it's a group class, how much revenue generating? And then you see, okay, do you like, it depends on, again, if you remember, I mentioned to have their intention, the having the outcome. So let's say, for example, if your outcome for the business is to grow to 1 million, but then you're teaching these small classes where they pay you only $15 an hour. So obviously it's going to be challenging for you to expand because you are just one person. So the next thing is to think, okay, who can help you with that? How do you leverage your time? So by hiring another person who teaches them, and then you spend your time on more valuable activities because your final goal is to make this 1 million in the business. How, guys, did you like this? Give me some takeaways. Is this powerful? This is very powerful. I invite you to just to literally keep doing this, revisit and doing this on a monthly basis.
I think we talked about this before, but it's good to be reminded all the time about what can be done to just like, make it happen. And thank you for like actually reminding of all this. It's just like, you just need to do it now. that's the challenge. Like, you can know, but like, I think for me, it's the challenge to put it alive. So
exactly.
I always feel I can be more energetic, more fast, more like, but I can't, for some reason, I feel I am slow. I don't know why.
No, and thank you for mentioning and sharing. Exactly. Like we all know what needs to be done, but it's not about what we know. It's about physically doing that. And a lot of the times, like the way we see, the way we think, and the way we feel, it doesn't align with the actual reality. So when you actually write things down and then you measure them, because what gets measured gets done. So if you're not measuring, and this is exactly what we're doing. If you're saying, oh, you know what, I don't have time, I don't do anything, I work so hard, I work so much, but then yet you start measuring all the things that you do on day-to-day basis, and then you add all them up, it all adds up. And now, like, even like from this activity, and we didn't even finish that activity, but if you calculate, okay, 90 hours a month on just checking on social media, 60 hours a month just watching TV. If you only just take these two activities that you do on day-to-day basis, that's 5 hours a day. And now imagine how much more can you do in this 5 hours a day? Like what would be available to you? And at the same time, if you, let's say, if you delegate, if you're cooking, cleaning, doing shopping and driving, and then if you take 3-4 hours a day on day-to-day basis of all the things that you do, and then you delegate and you will have someone else who will do this activity, what will be available to you during these 4 hours a day that you can do for your business? So maybe during these 4 hours a day, you can call 100 people and then sign up 10 people that will pay you $10,000. So you see like how different all of this. It's reminding ourselves, it's reevaluating. And I try to do this very, very often, besides just on day-to-day basis. Like I set up the whole plan for the next week. And then the day before, I set up what needs to be done and like go over all the time. So, and this is how you control your time, but not managing the time, it's controlling. Okay, more takeaways. Anyone wants to share anything else? Laura, you mentioned in the beginning about the class and the marketing, like how to start marketing. If you remember, last week we spoke about it, so I really hope you did this exercise, the client database. So this is, yes, again, it's all sitting down and doing that.
Okay.
It's all sitting down and doing that, because this is your power base. And this is something that you already need to tap in because you already have all of this. But then again, you gotta see this. You gotta have this, the names, the numbers, like emails, like all of this, because otherwise, like how you gonna market? And by the way, that's another thing, like in the marketing, and I'm guilty of that as well. Like I think we're all guilty about this, is like we focus so much of our time on bringing these new clients, but in reality, everything that we need is already right in front of us. We just need to tap into this. And what I'm talking about is it's our power base. It's our clients that we already have, existing clients, past clients, friends, family. We just go over everything that we already have and then start reaching out to them. You can have $1 million business, if not more, because everything we need is already in front of us. And we don't even need to spend all this money and effort on trying to get all these new people if we just step into what we have. And by the way, and besides what you have, the same thing, and I think we spoke about it, is we're asking for the referrals as well. So those that already know you, so the next thing is just to ask for the referral. So now imagine if you have 1,000 people in your database, and then this 1,000 people, each one of them will send you another 3 people. So that's already 3,000 people. So that's how you expand, and this is how you market yourself. All right. Okay. Thank you so much for being with us. Remember that financial freedom is all in your hands, and I'll see you next week. Thank you.